motion? I'd like to call tonight's regular school board meeting to order. The time is now 4:06. First item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico. This is a symbol of perfect friendship among many cultures. Next item is roll call. Roll call, please.
Board Member Dennis Romero. Board Member Elaine Gonzalez. Present. Board Secretary Dr. Joyce Meserve. Present. Board Vice President Dr. Kimberly Leah. Present. Board President Paul Gonzalez.
Present. We have a quorum. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Madam Superintendent.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make an amendment to the agenda presented to you this evening. That amendment is the following, is to move 10G immediately behind the approval of minutes, which is 5B, as well as moving 13, executive session, and 14, discussion action, immediately behind 10G, which is policy review.
Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda for this evening? We're going to make a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Dr. Leah. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. So then our next item on the agenda is going to be item 10G, policy review, B1200. And I believe you have Mr. Zamora to help us with this. The approval minutes first? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm going to do our approval minutes and then we'll go into 10G. Okay, thank you for that correction. So then that's, next item, I'm sorry, is approval of the minutes for the February 13th special board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the special board meeting minutes?
I'll move to approve the meeting minutes from the February 13th special board meeting. I'll second.
Motion by Dr. Brea, second by Ms. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is the approval of the minutes for the February 19th regular board meeting. I will make the motion and approve.
Mr. Gonzalez, I'd like discussion on that.
We have to do a motion and a second before there's any discussion. So is there a motion to approve? I'll make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second and discussion. Ms. Gonzalez?
I believe there's some corrections that need to be made to the minutes. In some of the, I believe that the minutes should be verbatim, and some of it is being interpreted as opinion, and some of the context that's in here. Some of it is implying or insinuating threats that were not made. And then names throughout the minutes should be consistent. So whenever they're referring to Superintendent Sandoval, it should be consistent with Superintendent Sandoval throughout the minutes instead of Superintendent Sandoval and then Ms. Sandoval. There's a place in here where they're referring to Dr. Blair instead of Dr. Blair. And then I'm referred to as Ms. MISS Gonzalez, and it should be or either Mrs. Gonzalez or Martinez Gonzalez, just like Dr. Meserve likes for her name to be Dr. Meserve or Dr. Blair. I believe that everyone should be referred to as such in the minutes. Oh, and then if we're using AI I know Mrs. Peterson does a good job and she does well, you know, and I know it takes a lot of time to work on the minutes, but I don't know if we're using AI to transcribe the minutes or what we're doing, but some of it is coming across as in, so I think we need to make a few corrections to the minutes. Thank you.
So at this point, we have a motion and a second to approve. Do you want to vote to table, or we can just vote to approve and then moving forward we'll make those corrections? So right now we have a motion to approve and a second. So all in favor to approve, say aye. Opposed, say no.
No.
I'll vote to say no. I think that they probably need to be changed to make the corrections.
Okay, so the motion to pass fails, and we will table.
Can I, President Gonzalez, can I make a motion to table this item and bring it back for the next regular board meeting? And if Board Member Gonzalez will share with Ms. Peterson those specific recommendations, revisions, just so that we were accurately capturing the minutes, that would be great.
Yes.
So I have a motion by Dr. Blea to table. Is there a second?
Second.
No, a second by Dr. Reserve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion to table passes. So now our next item of business is going to be item 10G under new business, policy review B1200. Now, Mr. Sala, thank you.
Thank you, Board President Gonzalez, board members, superintendent. Just a quick note on the Open Meetings Act and minutes. There is not a requirement for verbatim, but for summary and finding a balance with regard to board resources in that regard. But certainly if there were edits that are suggested or required, the minutes should be accurate, whether they're summary or.
Thank you for that clarification.
My name is Gino Zamora. I'm with Ortiz and Zamora Law Firm. We are the board's counsel. We've been asked to just provide a review of policy B1200, which relates to advisory committees. There have been questions raised as to what the process is for appointment of members to the committees mentioned in this policy, as well as there might be some confusion on the process. Our law firm does policy review for our school boards and provide some feedback. I will start with this. I do recommend that the board consider a deeper review and revision of this policy. There is a lot of confusing language in this policy that probably needs clarification. As a lawyer who reads board policies day in and day out, it took me 2 or 3 reads to understand as best I can what the objectives of this policy what the objectives are, excuse me. And so what this policy applies to is the appointment of members to temporary committees and standing committees and advisory committees. For all of those, what is common to all of those committees is that the board president appoints. What is different among all of those committees, and even sometimes confusing with each committee, is whether or not the board approves or when they're required to approve those appointments by the president. And there's some competing language in this policy that makes it confusing. So for example, line 2 of this policy says when any standing committee is formed, and that's the important word, formed, its members shall be appointed by the president and confirmed by a majority of the board. In that example, the committee does not exist, the standing committee does not exist, the board decides to form a standing committee, and at the initial appointment of that committee, the board approves. If you move a few sentences down in that first paragraph, it says, standing committees shall have at least one board member, but no more than 2 in its membership, who shall be appointed by the president. It does not contain that next sentence of and approved by the board. So now we have 2 different appointment language for the term standing committee, and then standing committee itself isn't really defined. It's implied that finance committee is a standing committee. It's implied that audit committee is a standing committee. And then you have these opportunities for temporary committees. You have a certain circumstance that you want to deal with. You put together a temporary committee, and then temporary committee is formed for fact-finding and study, members to be appointed by the president and confirmed by a majority of the vote of the board. Well, that's a subject matter, temporary, beginning and end, not intended to be here for a year. That's not finance committee. That's a constant, and audit is a constant. And then you have this other term of advisory committees. They're formed by the board. No more than 2 board members may serve as members of the committee. These members, when they're saying these members, are they talking about the board or all of the committee, the public members, etc.? All this needs clarification, but these members shall serve by appointment of the board president. So on temporary committees, there's no reference to the board confirming those appointments. It's a little bit of a messy soup here. And so it's understandable that the board has confusion. It's understandable to be saying, hey, wait, President, you're appointing members, but aren't we supposed to step in? The only common thread is that the president appoints the membership. The big question for us is when and where does the board confirm that? And in some instances, at least clearly in advisory committees, that does not occur. In standing committees, it does not appear that the board authorizes the next appointments after the initial formation of these standing committees. The decision as to this, there's nothing in statute as to how you establish your committees, how do you appoint them. This is a decision for the board. So what does the board want? I will recommend one thing, consistency. Meaning, if you're switching how the appointment and confirmation occurs based on temporary, advisory, standing committee, you're going to create more and more confusion. Pick as a board, as 5 board members, by a 3 or more vote, 3 or 4 or 5 person vote, what your structure is, and I would recommend sticking with it. Whether that's board president appoint, and the board confirm, or board president appoint. And end of story. But that's not a single member decision, that's a board decision. Now there may be specific questions on specific boards that the board would like me to answer. That's my overview. I recommend that this policy be revised. This is usually work for June and July. So you start the new school year with a better, cleaner policy. But it's something the board should be thinking of. And you have policies, believe it or not, on how to revise policies. So there might be a committee to review the policy from staff, to make recommendations to the board. There is definitely a first reading and a second reading, and you don't approve to the second reading. So it does take a little bit of time, and it does take a little bit of energy, and that's why we typically recommend something like this be pushed into the summer when there's less focus on curriculum, graduation, student improvement, all of that, and more on organizational matters. So that's the overview, and you might have a question about a specific committee. I'll do my best to answer that.
Questions?
I don't have any questions. Thank you, Mr. Zamora, for your guidance. I do recommend and would request that Superintendent Sandoval put this on the agenda for the June meeting for our first reading, and then hopefully during our July meeting we can have the second reading of that. And I would also ask if the language that Mr. Zamora provided today, is that sufficient for what you need, or do you, President Gonzalez, would you like for there to be a ad hoc committee created to work on this? Because I know we've had discussions at the last board meeting regarding policies A through B, so we've spoken about that, but not actually drafted the language.
In my opinion, I feel like Mr. Zamora's advice is sufficient, but I think definitely as a board, we could look at that as a paragraph once we put that in writing to make sure that we are all in agreement with the language of that. So, like I said, in June, we could discuss it, and we could discuss it, finalize it, and do the first reading in June.
Then, yes.
Possibly, would be the
That's the ideal. That's the ideal time frame. I would add one suggestion in the middle, and I should have had a copy of it in front of me, but I would recommend review by the superintendent and staff of the policy relating to policy review and revision, and follow that policy. I can't tell you what it is off the top of my head. Sometimes it's a staff-intensive process, and sometimes it's a board-intensive process. But prior to that June meeting and that July meeting for first and second reading, I do recommend you follow the policy review process.
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
So, Mr. President, Mr. Zamora, so are you kind of recommending that we don't actually review or finalize the policies at all till June or July? Because we're actually on second readings now for A through B.
Well, no, it's not really a second reading, it's just a review. Right. So right now, we're not changing any policy, it's just a review, so that way we can find these kind of inconsistencies or any kind of...
From A to B, and then we're on the first review from C
C
to
to
F.
F, and then next month we'll finalize all of them. That gives us a chance to review all of our policies before May. That way in June, we will start the actual revision process.
Board member, what you're doing is a best practice for our boards. I wish all our boards did this,
Okay.
where you're annually reviewing your policies. One, just so that you're familiar with them. You know they're there. You don't have to memorize them, but you know they're there and you know what the contents are. And then two, if there are revisions and customization, then you would send it into the policy review process. What I'm saying for this, the one policy I'm on now, and for future planning, when you're revising, when you're customizing your own policies, it is a good time to bring it to a head during the summer, to be able to focus on it. But you do get policy service updates throughout the year. I'm not recommending that you hold them all for June and July. If the policy service is sending you an update and you like it, put it on your next agenda, approve it, and get it immediately updated.
Okay. Thank you.
Again, referencing policy B2661, which is policy revision and review, it does indicate that a designated staff member may review and evaluate the update and recommended action to the superintendent, including any proposed changes needed to adapt the update, and then the superintendent sends that to us for review. So then I would recommend that Superintendent Sandoval work with the appropriate staff, and then after our conversation today, bring that to the board for review.
And if I can add just a little bit to that, in that oftentimes the superintendent will work directly with the council, and sometimes it's not staff, but it's council making a lot of those edits, so I'll stay in communication with the superintendent, and we might be able to streamline that by doing our recommended edits to fix this.
Thank you.
Questions? Thank you very much,
Much
Mr.
further for me. Thank you, Board President. Thank you, Board Superintendent.
Okay. So,
Mr. Chair, may I just ask the board, is there common understanding right now with regards to proper assignments, if you will, of the advisory committees as they sit right now,
yes.
with finance and with
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Our next item per amended agenda is going to be executive session. Do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Mr. President, I make a motion we enter into executive session.
I have a motion by Dr. Reserve. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Gonzalez.
I would like to make specific note that, or request that during executive session, that item B, pending litigation, Trujillo versus Las Vegas City Schools, I will be recusing myself from that discussion, and I would like for that discussion to be discussed last in executive session, and I will exit executive session during that time.
So with that said, we could roll call, please, to enter into executive session.
Board Member Dennis Romero. Board Member Elaine Gonzalez.
Yes.
Board Secretary Dr. Joyce Meserve.
Yes.
Board Vice President Dr. Kimberly Blade.
Yes.
Board President Paul Gonzalez.
Yes. The Board of Education will convene in closed session pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 1015-1H8, discussion to identify real property for the possible disposal by the district. B, the Board of Education will convene into closed session pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 1015-1H7, discussion of threatening or pending litigation, Archuleta versus Las Vegas City Schools, and then also Trujillo versus Las Vegas City Schools. We are now in executive session. The time is 4:29. Do I have a motion to enter into open session?
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Romero, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I apologize.
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Dennis Romero,
Yes.
Board Member Elaine Gonzalez,
Yes.
Board Secretary Dr. Joyce Meserve,
Yes.
Board Vice President Dr. Kimberly Blaya,
Yes.
Board President Paul Gonzalez.
Yes. The Board of Education will convene an open session pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 1015-1, discussion to identify real property for possible disposal by the district. The Board of Education will convene an open session pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 1015-1H7, discussion of pending litigation, Trujillo versus Las Vegas City Schools and Archuleta versus Las Vegas City Schools. No action was taken. We are now in open session. Time is 5:25. Our next item will be the discussion action about executive session. Item A, possible vote and action regarding identification of real property for possible disposal of the district.
I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the superintendent to look into the identification of real property for purchase or lease. Or disposal, I'm sorry.
And we have to be specific, Mr. Romero, so I'd like to add that we include Legion Park Elementary in that motion. We have a motion by Mr. Romero, is there a second?
Second.
A second by Dr. Reserve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Item B, possible action regarding pending litigation in which LVCS is a participant, possible waiver of attorney-client privilege regarding licensed administrator investigative report. I move to approve the waiver of attorney-client privilege of investigative report relating to a former district certified administrator in Archuleta versus Las Vegas City Schools.
Second,
Second by Mr. Romero.
Mr. Gonzalez, or President Gonzalez. Mr. Zamora, do we need a roll call vote on these ones, on these action items coming out of executive? No, okay, thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Next item is item C, possible action to authorize response by legal counsel to employee complaint regarding board member activity.
President Gonzalez, board member, superintendent, as counsel for the district, I recommend that the board authorize legal counsel, our law firm, to respond to the employee who registered a complaint regarding board member activity and to provide also follow-up guidance to the board regarding the same.
On that recommendation, I'd like to make a motion that we authorize legal counsel to create that document on behalf of the board.
Second.
And second by Dr. Reserve.
Mr. President,
Yes,
I
Mr.
will abstain from this vote.
I will do the same.
So then the roll call, the rest of it.
Yes.
Board Member Dennis Romero,
Abstain.
Board Member Elaine Gonzalez,
Abstain.
Board Secretary Dr. Joyce Meserve,
Yes.
Board Vice President Dr. Kimberly Blaya,
Yes.
Board President Paul Gonzalez.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you again, Mr. Zamora.
Thank you, board president and board members. It's been an intense evening with all of us. I appreciate working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Romero, what time did you write? You got it?
Thank you.
Please make note for the record that Mr. Romero showed at 5:15. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is public input. And this evening we have none. So our next item will be our finance report. Dr. Moore?
The Finance Committee met on Tuesday, March 24th. The February 2026 financial reports for the general and student activity accounts were reviewed as follows, including the operating and activity bank reports, accounts payable, check listing, revenue and expenditure reports, purchase orders that were issued, payroll journal report, fund balance report, pledged collateral report, as well as the GoFund activity. And the bars for approval were as follows. The cash position bars, and those are outlined 1 through 8 in the board packet. And also we did discussed a Title I bar, and then the State Bill 9, state match bar also was discussed. The recommendation by the committee is to approve the financial reports and budget adjustment requests for February 2026.
So next item would be our consent action. Madam Superintendent, what would be your recommendation?
Mr. President, members of the board, I recommend approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
I will move to approve the consent agenda items A, B, and C.
I have a motion by Dr. Blea. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Dr. Meserve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
No.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next item on our agenda will be new business. Item A, BPA travel request. Old business, I'm sorry, old business. You have the old business. Right. So the next item will be new business. Item A will be BPA travel request. Ms. Sandoval?
Mr. Chair, I call out Ms. Danette Martinez.
We're waiting for all of them
I'm Danette Martinez. I'm the BPA advisor, and these are my students that made it to the national BPA. And we're here to request travel out of state to Nashville, Tennessee, May 6th to the 10th, leaving May 5th. And then I'm asking the district to provide transportation and fees, which I did do in writing, $100 per student that will be going. To Albuquerque International Airport to depart on the 5th, so the bus driver that 5th to drop us off at the Albuquerque Airport, and then pick us up after on the 10th. And then I just want to introduce, they're going to introduce themselves. I have 7 going, and they're just going to introduce themselves again, and then see what event they got in, what they qualified for.
Hello, my name is Arolina. I'm in 8th grade, and I competed for human resource exploration, and I got 3rd place. And I also competed in financial literacy, and I got 1st in the state. Thank you, guys. Hi, my name is Ezra. I'm in 7th grade, and I competed for digital website design team, and we placed 2nd place.
Hi, I'm David Gonzalez. I competed for website design and I played we placed third. I'm Joe Garcia. I'm in 7th grade. I did financial literacy and got 2nd place in state and 2nd place in website design.
My name is Carlos Padilla. I'm in 8th grade, and I got 3rd place in financial literacy.
So for financial literacy, we swept the top 3, and I have all of them in my career exploration class. The ones that aren't here, Aubrey Ledger, she's 7th grade. She's also an FFA. She got digital citizenship. I believe that was 4th place. And then I had Medea Bencomo, she got 5th in digital citizenship. She's also not here. And then Paige Bonnie, she got 2nd in digital citizenship. So we got the top 5 on these 2 events. So, and then that's just why we're here asking. So out of my total of my 8th grade that competed at the state leadership, 100% of them made it. Not so good in my high school, it's a little bit tougher criteria. I think we just needed to meet more. But, thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Arnold.
I'd like to make a recommendation that we provide bus driver, and gas to and from the airport, and also the usual of $100 per student up to 10, so $1,000 for the BPA travel.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
A second. So just, now we have a motion and a second, just a question. So you're just looking for help with the bus and transportation to Albuquerque and back? You guys fundraise to the rest of the costs as far as your flights and hotels and everything else, or?
Yes, that's what usually, yes. And then the $100 per student goes to the fees.
Okay.
Our fees are $140, I believe, offhand, $140, $150.
May I ask some clarifying questions?
Yes, of course.
So, Mr. Romero, you mentioned it's up to 10 students. Has that been the practice?
Been the practice.
$100
$100
up
per
to 10?
student, up to 10, yeah.
And we have 7 going. Medea had 2 other obligations that she had to do. So again, being a small school, being involved in like SF, she's also an FFA in track, and then just priorities with her family. But I told her she's still young enough to come to do it again next year. So,
Thank you.
so there's seven total, a chaperone and then myself.
So before we go, just want to say thank you for all that you do. I know you help with several activities and extracurricular, and just thank you for all your hard work, and congratulations to all of you for making it to the next level national, and we look forward to hearing back from you to see how well you guys all do. So if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and vote.
Can I make a comment?
Of course, absolutely.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez, for your leadership in guiding these students, and thank you, students, for representing our district well, and also thank you for waiting for us. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez.
I would just like to congratulate all of you. And then I would just, if there is a website or something where we can maybe follow along while you all are at National Student Member, if you could maybe send that to us and we can maybe watch or just keep up with what's going on.
Yeah, great. I will do that.
Thank you.
So now, motion by Mr. Romero to approve the travel funds. So let's go and approve that first, but we have to approve the out-of-state travel on a separate motion. So based on the motion and the second, all in favor, say aye.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr.
I
Romero.
may withdraw my first motion, and I will make a motion that we approve the out-of-state travel first, so we don't go backwards.
So we have a motion by Mr. Romero to approve the out-of-state travel. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Dr. Blea. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes.
Mr. President, now I'd like to make a motion that we provide the BPA, middle school BPA with a bus driver and gas, and $100 per student up to 10 students for their travel.
A motion by Mr. Romero. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second by Ms. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank
you
you.
again. Next item on our agenda, our new business is item B, FFA State Judging Contest, support request. Madam Superintendent.
Mr. Chair, call up Ms. Mabel Roybal.
Good evening.
I am actually going to turn the mic over to my president, Mr. Antonio Romero.
Chairman Gonzalez, Superintendent Sandoval, members of the board, and guests, good afternoon. My name is Antonio Romero, and I'm the proud chapter president of the Las Vegas FFA chapter. This year, our chapter is celebrating 80 years since being chartered in 1946 within the National FFA organization. We are one of the oldest FFA chapters in New Mexico and in the nation, and the oldest student-led organization on the Robertson High School campus. We are currently in the midst of our judging season, which is the highlight of our year. During this time, our members compete in career development events, or CDEs. These competitions allow students to develop and demonstrate their knowledge, technical skills, and leadership abilities in ways that mirror real-world agricultural careers. Over the past 2 months, our members have traveled across the state to participate in several invitational contests, including Carrizozo, Truth or Consequences, Roswell, Texaco, and Portales. These experiences have allowed our students to grow, compete, and represent our district, community, and chapter with pride. In order to qualify, members must score within 70% of the first high individual score. In addition, teams must place within the top 10 to qualify. Each contest is unique and consists of multiple components, which the members will soon share with you. Let me tell you, some of these contests are challenging. We have had early mornings and late nights. There have been moments of frustration, but also moments of growth, teamwork, and success. Through it all, our members have shown dedication and resilience, and I could not be more proud of each and every one of them. I am proud to share that the following teams and individuals have qualified to compete at the state level. When I call your name, please step forward to be recognized and share about your contest. In floriculture, Katrina Espinosa, Justice Garcia, and Maria Lopez.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gonzalez, Ms. Sandoval, and members of the board. I complete in floriculture, which consists of an ID of flowers, equipment and supplies, and pests and diseases. And then we also have a general knowledge exam, which consists of 25 questions out of 150 from the last 3 national contests. And then there is also a practicum, which can be one-on-one selling, asexual propagation, or make a mixed plant salad that has to retail of $25.
In food science, Emelina Casares and Audrey Ledger.
Good afternoon. I'm Emelina Casares. I compete in food science. This contest consists of an objective test that based on things about essentials of food science, a math test, a moment where you have to guess the scent, a triangle test where you have to figure out the difference, a quality and safety practicum that where you have to figure out if it's a quality or safety issue, and you have to figure out if it's biological, physical, or chemical. And then there's a safety one where we have to figure out what the issue is. Where they have to show us a picture, and we have to just figure out what the issue is.
In forestry, Hassan Garcia, Robert Jackson, and Jean Garcia Talamontes.
Hi, I'm Bobby Jackson. I compete in forestry. It's composed of like 3 parts: timber cruising, the ID, and a test. And so timber cruising pretty much just measure trees. The ID is identification of 20 different trees, 20 different disorders of trees, and 20 different tools that are used in forestry. And then the test is just general knowledge of forestry. Thank you.
In horticulture produce, Ileana Archuleta, Zara Cruz, Justice Garcia, and Cortez Rivera.
Hello, my name is Justice, this is Zara, and this is Cortez. I also compete in horticultural produce. There's 3 components: a general exam, identification of 150 plants where we get 46 out of each. And then we also have classes, which is 4 plates, and they have various fruits, and we have to place them best to worst.
In landscape design, Lauren Lopez, Ileana Maestas, Kaylee Sena, and myself, Antonio Romero.
I'm Lauren Resource, and I'm Lauren Lopez. We compete in landscape design, and we have 3 main parts of our contest. We have a drawing, which is the main part. We are given a client scenario and must design a landscape that meets their needs using native plants to New Mexico. We also have plant identification, where we identify 20 plants from a list of 119. This season, our team has placed first in most contests, with at least 1 individual first place at nearly every event. The past 2 years, we placed second at state, and this year our goal is to win first at state.
In livestock, Alma Blea, Evan Lovato, and Mateo Ramirez.
Hello, my name is Evan Lovato, this is Mateo Ramirez, and we are racing Alma Blea. We do livestock. We see which one is slaughter ready or is best fit for animal contests such as county fair, state fair, or nationals, like Eastern or I don't know. We do a set of reasons, or 2 sets of reasons. We judge animals for 10 minutes each, 8 classes.
And then in wildlife, we have Vincenzo Talia.
Hi, I'm Vincenzo Padilla, and I compete in wildlife. Wildlife has 3 parts: identification, the written test, and the practicum. The identification, you have to identify 75 animals when you get 15 seconds for each animal. The written test is 75 questions based off general knowledge of wildlife. The practicum, you have to look at 40 items and you have to answer a multiple choice question for each item.
The New Mexico FFA State Career Development events will take place in Las Cruces from April 6th through April 11th at New Mexico State University. Additionally, we are respectfully requesting your support to help make this opportunity possible for our members. We had sent out a letter, I'm not sure if you guys have that, but specifically we're requesting assistance with registration fees and transportation. The estimated cost for registration is $400 for 8 teams. Transportation costs include approximately $250 for fuel and $3,182.70 for driver compensation. These resources are essential in ensuring that our students are able to attend and compete at the state level while continuing to represent our school and community with excellence. Beyond competition, these events provide our students with valuable experiences in leadership, teamwork, and problem solving that will serve them well in school, career, and life. Las Vegas FFA is deeply grateful to the board and to our community for your continued support. It is always a privilege to come before you and share the accomplishments of our members. On behalf of the Las Vegas FFA officer team and chapter, I would like to sincerely thank you for your time, consideration, and ongoing support of our students. Your investment in these opportunities helps to shape the next generation of leaders in agriculture and in our community. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Romero.
I'd like to make a motion that we support the FFA with a bus to and from Las Cruces, a bus driver, and I'm going to amend the usual and just say $400 for registration, because I know you're going to be back for nationals. So we'll use that extra for that.
A motion by Mr. Romero to approve the travel request. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
I have a second by Dr. Blea. All in favor, say aye.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
I would like to, first of all, thank you all as well for waiting for us. As a proud Las Vegas FFA alum and a current FFA mom, I'm extremely proud of how well you represent us, not just in the community, but throughout the state. And I'm really surprised to hear that it's 80 years. I did not know that, so thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, now, I'm ready.
Thank you, that's the best.
If there's no questions, we have a motion and a second, and so we have to vote again.
No, it's motion, second, discussion, then the vote.
Okay.
So anyways, we have a motion, second, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Good luck. Okay. Next item on our agenda, the new business is item C, 2026 NMSBA Student Scholarship Nominations. Ms. Sandoval?
Mr. Chair, members, it is that time of year once again to nominate a student from Las Vegas City Schools for the NMSBA Student Scholarship. The board has the opportunity to nominate one student to the NMSBA. In your packets, you have some information on these two students. Information has been redacted as to an individual name. So I ask that you review that information and then let us know who you would like to send forward. And you'll have candidate 1 and of course candidate 2.
Mr. President, by when do we have to let down? Jeez. Okay.
Does everyone have enough time to review the chair?
No.
Good. Okay, so as we'll do a roll call, when the name is called, please vote for your candidate. So please do a roll call, please.
Board Member Dennis Romero.
Candidate 2.
Board Member Elaine Gonzalez. Candidate 2. Board Secretary Dr. Joyce Meserve. Candidate 2. Board Vice President Dr. Kimberly Blair.
Candidate 2.
And Board President Paul Gonzalez.
Candidate 2. Votes is 5-2. Candidate 2 will be our 2026 NMSBA Student Scholarship Award winner. Thank you, everyone. The next item is new business item D, revised 25-26 school calendar. Madam Superintendent.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, we are requesting approval of a revised school calendar. We had a school cancellation during the first semester in December. We do need to make up that day and formally amend the calendar. If not, we would have to lose funding for that particular day. So I am requesting an amendment to this year's calendar and adding May 27th as the last day of school for the district.
On the recommendation, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the amendment of the 25-26 school calendar, adding May 27th as that last day of the school year.
Correct.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Dr. Reserve. All in favor? Yes. Mr. Romero.
When is graduation?
Graduation is set for May 22nd.
So it does not affect.
Is it?
It is in effect graduation.
And the 25th is Memorial Day, right? So-
Correct.
Yeah.
And then the 26th is already set as a last contract date for staff, so that it'll shift one. And the reason we have to make up this time is because we receive K-12 plus funding. We meet the statutory 1140 hours, but by canceling that day, we do have to make up that time to keep the funding.
And I'm sorry if I missed this, the day was canceled, what? Was it a
This was a snow day. Yeah, it was a snow day.
Any other discussion or questions? So we have a motion and a second. All in favor to approve, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Next item on our agenda, under new business item E, is the 2026-2027 4-day school calendar. Madam Superintendent.
Mr. Chair, I'll call up Ms. Vanessa Garcia, who facilitated and led the calendar committee for this year. We are presenting to you a 4-day calendar option, or 2 options. So you will be shown the survey information once again, as we spoke about last time, and some supporting information in order for you to vote on a 4-day calendar with either a Friday off, which would be Monday through Thursday instructional time, or second calendar option with a Monday off. Ms. Garcia.
Good evening, President Gonzalez, members of the board, and Superintendent Sandoval. You were all provided a copy of the calendar. First, before we get into anything, I would like to see if there are any questions, or if you'd like me to go ahead and proceed with the information you provided.
You can go ahead and proceed with the information if you want.
Right. Ms. Peterson, could you share the voting results, please? We put out 2 surveys, one to community and parents and one to staff. As you can see, I can't see that far, but there was more than 40% of parents and community in favor of a Friday off. And for the staff, there was about a little over 40% in favor of Mondays off. So it is split. Again, I can't see the numbers this far.
So, you know, I'll add, so it's, excuse me. Go ahead.
So the numbers are actually reflect, there were 203 responses for general public, 25% voted for a 5-day school week, 21%, is that 21? 23% voted for Mondays off, and almost 52% voted for Fridays off. And this was our general public response.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Romano.
Garcia, if you have, is there a section where if Friday's off and a holiday falls on Friday, does that get made up? Does it same thing with Mondays?
I will get into that a little bit when we talk more about the actual calendars and the way we looked at the dates as a committee.
So some things that you'll have to think about as we present the survey information is the responses, because it's varied between employees and of course our general public. So if we go down to the staff survey, here we had 32% of the employees vote for a Friday off calendar. Almost 48% of the employees chose Mondays off, and 20% voted for a 5-day school week, and this was 80 responses. So again, employees were voting for Mondays off. General public popular vote is Fridays off.
Okay, I will jump down to some kind of pros and cons. Comparison of Monday to Fridays off, I believe that was attached. So I looked at some research on the psychological impact, attendance, and teacher preference. I'm going to just go through this briefly because all of you are good with this and I don't want to spend too much time reading it word for word. Psychological, that Mondays off would be providing stress relief because Monday is the heaviest day of the week. Friday, it was viewed as a transition into the weekend and, of course, mental exhaustion, and it provides an early start. For attendance, it can reduce absences for those who travel over long weekends. Many Monday holidays already exist, leading to a reduction in holiday absences. For Fridays, it's effective for rural districts where student athletes often miss Fridays for long distance travel or games. Teacher preference is popular because for appointments, doctors, dentists, reducing the need for substitute teachers, as most doctors' offices are closed on Fridays. On Friday, eliminates the need to be changing the 4-day week monthly to accommodate monthly holidays. Some research suggests that when teachers have a dedicated day for planning and professional development through quantitative data on student achievement remains next. Okay. Also looking on which day is chosen, academic impact on a 4-day week, whether it is Monday or Friday. The impact is dependent on total, the districts maintain at least 32 hours instruction per week.
You do not see a significant drop in achievement, so going from 5 to 4 days doesn't really impact the achievement. Student well-being, students in, I did put the resources at the bottom, just if you wanted to go look it up. Student in Oklahoma found that the 4-day week can reduce bullying and fighting. Elementary students also tend to get more sleep. Teacher retention, while often cited as a primary reason for the switch, studies suggest that leadership quality remains highly popular among staff. And cost saving benefits are modest, usually ranging from 0.04% to 2.5%, and this is primarily reduced through transportation and food service costs. So again, just a little bit of research. Also, if we move on to looking at I'll go to the calendars now. Go back up. So we met with the calendar team twice or 3 times. I'm not sure how many times we met.
Twice and 1 virtual.
Yeah, we met 2 times in person and 1 virtual. We did have a large demographics of people coming in. We had a lot of input. The initial meeting, they were given guidance. They went back to their school sites. They got input from all of their staff. Then they brought them and we fixed them. So right now, looking at Mondays off, which is popular by the staff, you will see most, we have started August 3rd, 4th, and 5th would be 3 PD days. First day of school starting August 6th. There are all Mondays off. We have included 2 parent-teacher conference days, half day for homecoming, and we end on 28. At the request of the employees, they would like graduation to be on a Saturday this year. Looking at the Friday calendar, again, you have had these, so you can look at them a little bit closer if you have any questions. I'm going to go through it quickly. We will also start on August 3rd, 4th, 5th, with first day of students being the 6th, ending, again, May 27th, with graduation being on a Saturday. This does not have a half day for homecoming, as homecoming would fall on that Friday. We do have 2 full days of parent-teacher conference. There are noted on Mondays off, there are 3 days in November, September. We would have to take off an instructional day for Fridays off, where it falls on our Monday for Labor Day already off. Also, noted the difference between Mondays and Fridays. In September, we have to flip-flop, meaning if we take off that Monday, we now go to school Friday, which now parents have to kind of change. Now I gotta substitute my child care for those 2 days. We're kind of flopping back and forth. And that happens in September, January, and there was another month in where we have to, I think it was October. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but there was a couple of months where we have to swap that Monday and Friday off to make sure we maintain that 4-day week. We did go ahead and do a little bit more research. Thank you to Ms. Kayla Vega. She did go in and do some research on student absences, and you did get the breakdown. And students tend to miss more Mondays throughout the school year than they do Fridays. We did do Ms. Gonzalez did a review. Employees tend to miss more Fridays than Mondays. So we have looked at it. We do have, with Mondays off, I'm just going to go over it. All students on both calendars, would be starting at 7:50, elementary ending at 3:45, secondary ending at 4. Staff would work 7:30 to 4:15. And we have on both calendars, Monday would have 155 instructional days with half a day for what is considered other instruction. That would be the homecoming day. And we have 10 professional work days, which includes the 2 parent-teacher conferences. The Friday off, we have 156 instructional days. That being because we won't have a half day for homecoming. And we have 10 professional work days, including 2 parent-teacher conferences. I have spoke with our NEA president. They have reviewed the calendar. They will have to work on language to match the CBA. And also know any makeup days that we will need to do, if we have any snow days or any type of cancellations, we would be making them of June 1st through the 4th. With that, I will stand for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia and members of the calendar committee for providing robust information and providing additional research for us to understand the benefits of a 4-day school schedule. I don't have any questions at this point, but I just want to thank you and the committee for your work.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Romero.
Ms. Court, what kind of language are they gonna have to change to, for the collective bargaining agreement?
Our collective, sorry. I'll start talking, I'll use my pen in your voice. Board members and superintendent. Our collective bargaining agreement lists the number of hours that a contract day must be, which is 7 hours plus a 45-minute lunch. Obviously, that would have to shift if we are increasing the number of hours in a day over the course of 4 days. So it would be a collaborative motion. I've already sent an email for it with an intent to bargain, looking to do that kind of interest-based bargaining to where we can work together just to make sure that everything agrees. Obviously, through all of these, through the surveys and through the votes and through our own meetings, the general consensus is the bargaining units approve of a 4-day week. So it's not trying to get rid of or fight the 4-day week, just making sure that pay stays the same, hours of contract total stay the same, and that we are not doing things that are not listed in the CBA.
Thank you.
And for clarification, Mr. Chair, members, the contract hours for all staff would remain identical, so everything is just adjusted, and pay is commensurate to to their contracts right now. Nothing changes.
So there's no fiscal impact on the budget?
No.
And I do want to note, the reason we want to make clear that we make up days June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, because in order to maintain a 4-day calendar, you can only have 4 days in a week, so you can't make up a day on a Friday, because then that now makes you a 5-day calendar, which is not allowed. Therefore, we have to make it up at the end. We can't throw it in on a Friday.
Okay. That was going to be all my questions. Thank you. Any other questions from the board? All right. Madam Superintendent, what would be your recommendation?
My recommendation is for you to choose one of the 4-day calendars. As I said, I think some of the things that I would recommend you consider is the community input. You had over 200 votes, and they were partial to Fridays off. Our employees were, choosing Mondays off. It is a switch, to what they're used to. It is a slightly longer day. We do plan on, and I just want to add this to the conversation, is that we do plan on adding an afternoon snack for all our kids K-12. We have also, or I have also already contracted with Healthy Kids. Yes, Healthy Kids, thank you. To provide service for our 5 through 12-year-olds. This would be free of charge for qualifying families on whichever day that you all decide as our day off. But we will be adjusting employee contracts, and the biggest one is more so our 12-month employees, because that one shifts quite a bit from 236 days to something a little different. But again, I think if you take a roll call vote, and similar to what you did before, is it you choose on a Friday off or a Monday off?
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Romero.
Mr. President. Madam Superintendent, how is that going to affect electric utility bills with the day ending later? and football practice in the fall outside. Are we gonna turn the lights on so they can finish their football practices? In the beginning, probably not, because time changed, but at some point.
That's a good question. Possibly, we're extending by 30 minutes, I believe, approximately 30 minutes. So of course our practices will shift to that time. And I don't know, we have our athletic staff here. I don't know if that already happens and how the practices occur, if you could respond to that.
So one of the things that we're looking at, and Mr. Vasquez can probably elaborate on that a little bit more, is in the daily schedule, they're looking at adding an athletic period towards the end of the day, so that way we can have athletes and various sports come in and do some of the practice time during the athletic period. That way we don't eat into the evening and have those longer days.
And I apologize, I didn't do research on athletics. I was focused on attendance, as that is a priority, and curriculum in my area. So having more rigor during the day, longer time, was what I was focusing on.
Okay, so if there's no other questions, we'll do a roll call, and if you could just vote for either Mondays off or Fridays off. Start with the roll call, please.
Board Member Dennis Romero.
I'll abstain.
Board Member Elaine Gonzalez.
I vote for the Mondays off in support of the staff.
Board Secretary Dr. Joyce Mazur.
Fridays.
Board Vice President Dr. Kimberly Leah.
I vote for Fridays off.
And Board President Paul Gonzalez.
And listening to our parents' concerns, I'm going to vote with our parents in the group Fridays off. So do I have a motion or?
So, Mr. Chair, members of the board, your vote indicates Fridays off, 4-day calendar next year. So, recommend approval, 4-day calendar, Fridays off.
On the recommendation, I make a motion that we approve the 4-day calendar with Fridays off. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no.
No.
Motion passes, 4-day school week with Fridays off. Thank you for all your help and all the research. Next item on our agenda is new business item F, budget planning calendar.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, we have received our calendar date for budget submission, and that is May 13th. And what we have, or what Ms. Vanessa Gonzalez has put together, is the budget planning calendar to close off the year. And so before you is the budget planning calendar. Also, to take note, remember that there is a requirement that we do have public input. Those calendar days are listed as April 1st, which is next Wednesday, I believe. We will have a Google Meet meeting at noon, an in-person meeting same day, April 1st at 5:15. And just this afternoon, a survey was released through email and social media to solicit responses for recommendation regarding the budget. Our proposal is to provide you the first board presentation with a draft budget on April 16th. Upon your recommendations of that evening would be to come back for board approval on a date of your selection. So again, that would have to be after April 16th, but before May 13th. That can be determined. My recommendation would be on April 16th after you review the initial budget draft. And then, of course, Ms. Gonzalez will be submitting the final budget on or before May 13th. Do you have any questions?
Any questions on the calendar? You want me to motion on that?
No, no motion, just discussion.
Okay, thank you. So the next item on our agenda will be new business item H, policy review. And just want to make a note on it. Mr. Zamora said as we go through this process, we don't have to correct them all now, but we can make note of which policies will need corrections and updates. And we could actually have a separate policy review and update meeting separate in June or May possibly. So we could start identifying which ones we all feel as a board need attention. So with that being said, is there any questions or any policies on really A through F, but B, C through F that we were to review this month?
There, Mr. President,
Yes, Dr. Mazur.
in looking at the policies in the C category for general school administration, policy numbers 1350, school-based management, the policy said about reports, and I wanted to know where the reports are being kept. There was a notation there about reports, and there was no notation as to where the reports are being kept.
Okay.
So there could be some addendum or just a notation as to where the reports are. And then also where the next policy, 1450, it talks about video surveillance. And then also where the video is kept and how long are the videos kept, if there is video surveillance done.
If I might add to that, it also states that that we have to notify, there should be notification or signs prominently displayed indicating the use of video surveillance. And I don't believe that we have those signs up anywhere stating that we're using video surveillance.
No, not under policy C.
Not in policies. Let's see. What about any other policies? Policy D?
Policy D, in reference to, under policy D 1950, the credit cards and telephones, it says that the credit cards will be monitored, but it says something about a travel log, but it doesn't say where the travel log is kept or if a travel log is being kept. So it just says about credit cards, but doesn't say how they're being monitored in reference to the credit cards.
Actual log.
And I just had a question for clarification on the same policy, D 1950. It says reimbursement of personal telephone calls. I recognize that some of the questions that we're presenting are related to the implementation or application of the policy. I just thought this seemed a little bit absurd to have in policy. If we have something in policy, that means as a district that we're going to do this, right? And so if there's not, going to be reimbursement, review of the phone bills and reimbursement of personal telephone calls, I think it would be advisable for us to remove that language. Or tell me, does that happen? That review happen?
Mr. Chair, Dr. Bano, employees, supervisors and individuals have school-assigned phones. Not to say that some don't use their personal phones, but to my knowledge, we do not reimburse any employee for their personal use. So I would agree with you. We think that should be revised. Thank you.
Put that on our list of.
That's policy, I'm sorry, 1950?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was I just wanted to pause it because it was just the number. 61. I can't find the number.
While Dr. Meserve is looking, I can, if it's okay with you, Dr. Meserve, I can share the additional comments I have under policy D. Item 1350, it specifically lists a capital committee, and as to my knowledge, we do not have a capital committee. So my recommendation is either establish a capital committee, especially as we have capital projects such as the middle school coming up, that we create that. If we do not want to create that, then perhaps that responsibility be absorbed into another committee, for example, the finance committee or something.
Dr. Pham, members of the board, Mr. Romero, we did have a capital outlay committee that was ongoing over the course of last year that was facilitated by a former facilities director. And I believe, I know that there was one board member that was consistently attending, so we can reestablish that, especially now that, as you mentioned, that we will have capital projects that will be continuing.
Thank you.
If I may, D, I'd like to just go back to our fiscal management goals. So policy D0050. The board recognizes that the money in this management constitutes the foundation of the entire school program. And to make that support as effective as possible, the board intends to, and of course it says, encourage short and long-term planning, explore all practical legal sources of monetary income, guide the expenditure of funds to achieve the greatest educational returns, require maximum efficiency and accountancy and reporting procedures, and maintain within the budget limits a level per student expenditures needed to provide high quality education. So there's that, and I'm going to tie that together with D0400 cash reserve. The board recognizes the need to maintain an adequate operational cash fund balance to assure sound fiscal management of its financial resources and to assure the availability of funds when unexpected financial demands are made on the district. The district will submit a CBT, so it's the cash balance target, of at least 5%, but no more than 10. Over 3 consecutive years from 2022 to 2024, Las Vegas City Schools received the same audit findings related to cash management. According to those audit reports, the district failed to maintain sufficient cash in the general fund to cover operational and program expenditures. In addition, under policy D0040, cash reserves, the previous business manager confirmed that it had been several years that the district had maintained the required cash reserve of at least 5%. Approving the budget presented by the superintendent is one of the board's core responsibilities. However, our responsibility does not end there. The board must also ensure that the district operates within that approved budget and that board policies are being followed. Unfortunately, that oversight was clearly lacking under previous board leadership. There have been many accusations and rumors as to why changes had to happen in Las Vegas City Schools. The reality is straightforward. The district was in a serious financial position when Dr. Meserve and I joined the board. Continuing on that path was simply not sustainable. If the district is going to move forward, we have to be honest about how we got here. Superintendent Sandoval and her leadership team have been tasked with addressing long-standing financial and operational issues within the district. If we're going to move forward successfully, we must focus on accountability, transparency, and supporting the leadership necessary to fix these issues. Thank you. That's all I have under this policy review. Any other comments on policy C through F?
Mr. President, the policy that I wanted to ask about was in reference to E0161. And it's pretty vague in reference to talking about inspection of property. And it's the responsibility of the school principals, and it just says schedule regular inspections. It's an environmental and safety program, but it doesn't say where or how often these regular inspections are done. So it doesn't, basically if you find something on an inspection, what are you identifying and what are you looking at? And how are you correcting that? So if I go in and ask for when your inspection was done, what are you going to show me? And if you found something wrong, how long do you have to correct it?
And I'm sorry, which policy you did?
That was 0161.
I have a few more under item E, policy section E, E2650. It indicates approval for release of students to parents. I believe in the language it says by the school principal, but I believe in practice it's the athletic coordinator who grants that approval. So just making sure that our practices are consistent with our policy, or the practice is for the athletic coordinator to give that release to parents, then that it's reflected appropriately in our policy. And then the final thing I'll say under policy E is E4250. It states that we're, let me get to it real quick so I can say it verbatim and not summarize it. So E4250 is the use of technology in office services. And so in particular, when it talks about board members and staff, encouraged to participate in open meetings law and public records law training, this is just a reminder for us, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The following statement shall be used on all board member and staff electronic communications. Quote, to ensure compliance with the open meeting law, board member recipients of this message should not forward it to other board members, nor should board members reply to this message. I think that will just help us in having that statement as a reminder not to respond in a way that would open us up to a rolling board. So if we could just, board members, add that to our responses. And also Superintendent Sandoval and Ms. Peterson as, the communication with the board. If you could just put that disclaimer as well.
And then I have one more in reference to E0250, and it's reporting of hazardous warning systems. It's in reference to the pesticides. If they're shooting pesticides for the environment, how is this warning system going out to the students and to personnel? It might go out to the staff by the electronics or the phone, but how is it going out to the staff of the students? If they may have allergies or if they may have something going on.
Would you look look into this?
That's all I got.
I have something under policy F, 1400. This is just, I guess, grammatical in one and also to be more inclusive. So under the second sentence, it says, to appoint a committee to aid the superintendent in his recommendation. We should change his to be there. And then finally, the next line is just missing the T on that first sentence. It says he board rather than the board.
He board. Any other discussion on policies? B through F?
Mr. Chair, do you want me to respond to these, or what are we doing?
So just correct it.
Yeah, if the ones that you can provide a response to, I know you probably have to do a little bit of research on most of those. So provide a response in reasonable time. I don't believe you need to respond to those tonight.
Okay.
Thank you. Then we have time to do research.
I have most of them.
Do you have most of them? Okay, if you'd like to respond, please do.
Policy 1350 and 1450, reports and video surveillance. We have an obligation to hold records for 7 years. So we do have servers that hold video surveillance. Any hard copy and or digital reports are also kept on our servers. We have a basement where we have our documentation in hard copy. Schools are required to keep any student records for 3 years, so those are held at the school sites. With regards to E0161, inspection of property, we do receive annual inspections by Palms and Associates and Fire Marshal, all of these individuals, so those files are retained through the facilities and maintenance departments. food service department as necessary, so those are, I actually also keep records of all of these inspections. Typically, we're given anywhere between 30 to 60 days for correction and remediation, and we do reply back to these entities to provide dates of remediation, so those are done and kept. Approval released to parents, will make sure that it is school principal or designee. That way it can allow for athletic coordinator or any designee with regards to leadership. And I think those are the only ones that need any type of communication right now.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Romero.
Madam Superintendent, you gave us the communication on it, but when do we get that into the policy? Because isn't that something that Dr. Reserve asked about, where are these files kept? You know, when are they doing the inspections? So do we need to put those exact places in there to satisfy what she's asking, or?
We can, or we do have standard operating procedures within our departments, so we can either include those on, you know, within each department, or if you want to be specific, which sometimes I don't recommend for policies. We signed one of the last ones that had a specific name. If we can be general and we can say, you know, to follow maybe retention of record protocols as established by State of New Mexico or whatever. So we can bring in that language for some of these ones, and then but kind of leave them, as I said, general and open. And we'll follow the first and second reading.
No other questions, we'll move on to our next item of business, which is our student report. Ms. Garcia, thank you for your patience.
Today I'll have my student report for March of 2026. I did not visit schools in person this month. I'm getting ready for my senior year, and I had the SAT and multiple tests, so I was a little too busy with making sure that I ensure a successful future for myself. But I decided to re-report things that I think really need to be changed before my term ends in May. At Mike Mateo, needed maintenance on the intercom system, which would help with safety issues and communication issues, as well as since they're out of town, and a canopy over the pickup area. Los Niños, I haven't been able to meet much with them this year. It's just hard to get a hold of them. And then I think that they should have a few more extracurricular options. At Ciudad Vista, a lot of the children want book fairs, and then in the female restrooms, feminine hygiene baskets. At Memorial Middle School, vending machines, since the high school has, but the middle school doesn't. And at the high school, we have an open campus, but the middle schoolers have to stay there all day. And they also want feminine hygiene products in their female restrooms. At Robertson High School, in our bathrooms, we still have gaps and graffiti, and the locks don't always lock, so it tends to take away more classroom time because you have to take a friend with you to make sure that you're able to use the bathroom without someone watching or someone opening the door. And then our student council has made a food pantry, and it's gone really well. I think we had 6 boxes sent home last month, and there's kids constantly going. A few times we've had to make extra orders because I don't want to say sold out because we don't buy them, but we've ran out, I guess. And then across the entire district, a lot of children say that they want water as an option for lunch, a salad bar, a variety for breakfast. A few times at the high school, we've been given the same thing 2 or 3 days in a row. And it's pretty frustrating when you're hungry or you're running late for school and you get cereal 3 days in a row, and a lot of them don't want to drink milk or something. And then snacks district-wide. So like I said, at the high school, we have the pantry. And we're planning to open it up for middle schoolers next year if everything goes accordingly. But I know even as someone who can drive off campus, I get hungry a lot, and I find myself asking my friends if they have food or bugging my teachers to see if they have food. And I think just having like maybe a snack bin in each classroom that we're able to get through and be able to access without having to go ask or having to miss class. And that's all.
Mr. President,
Yes, Dr.
I have a question. How is your food pantry being stocked?
I don't know the name of the corporation exactly. We'd have to talk to our student council advisors.
That is the Food Depot.
And they donate to,
And we have shifts per se, and if you don't have a class, you get to go monitor like temperatures, and we have to do it regularly. And we had a meeting with the person who runs it, and we know like we had to take a test on safety procedures and how to handle food. And there's a QR code, so when you are getting a snack, we know. And it's all anonymous, so. Like, as members and as advisors, we see the data, but it's just so we can know how to better support our pantry. It's not distributed at all.
So it's just cold food, so give me an example, like what's in the food pantry?
So we have, like, for our boxes, it's like take-home foods that we usually get through, like, a drive-through, and it's like spaghetti. It's all non-perishable, I'm pretty sure, for the most part. And then, like for snacks more so, there's these mango bars and there's Ritz crackers, SpaghettiOs and stuff. And we're trying to work on getting bowls and stuff because we didn't think that entirely through. And there's, the other day I went with my friend and I warmed up SpaghettiOs in plastic cups. So we're trying to think that way through. And then I think the only perishable item we have is Cool Whip, and it's stored in a fridge, which we lock the temperatures.
Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez, thank you, Ms. Garcia, for your report. Something I would recommend to you and maybe Superintendent Sandoval and whoever she determines the appropriate person is, there's an organization called Free Flow, New Mexico, that will provide period products at no cost to schools, so perhaps there can be a partnership to help address the concerns raised at the middle school.
Okay.
And Sierra Vista, yes.
Any other questions? Ms. Garcia? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing none, we'll move to our next item of business, which is our superintendent. Superintendent.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, my report is a little different. This month I didn't put together so much narrative, so similar to Ms. Archuleta, I kind of ran out of time, so I put together some things that I think are relevant. Mr. Gonzalez did ask me to share the VISTA report card that did come out on the Optic, what was it, maybe 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I believe. I don't know if you have any questions regarding February 27th. If you have any questions regarding the VISTA report, we are working on improving these scores. As you see, they're a little better than some of our surrounding districts, but not great. So Dr. Reddy, Ms. Vanessa Garcia, they're working on curriculum, they're working on training, pedagogy, that type of thing to attempt to reverse these numbers and increase our scores. PED legislature did adopt 2 rules this year with regards to math and literacy proficiency. So looking at more closely monitoring math scores, providing math coaches, funding for training and so on. So again, it is an ongoing process. I did meet with individuals from Highlands and PED today with regards to how districts can better partner with higher ed and teacher preparation programs. So we'll work on that. As you can see, our graduation rate is declining also. So things that we need to address. One of our, I think, biggest issues is attendance. We see that we have a high number of absences in our classes, K-12. Some of the concerns that I have seen have been actually the reverse, where we have students with high number of absences and are getting good grades. So we really need to address the rigor in our classroom. Our principals have been tasked to look at policy and procedure for this coming school year to standardize our grading policies, and not so much like what's an A, what's a B, and so on, but to take a look at what percent our kids are getting within classrooms. So really looking at classroom participation as perhaps a higher percentage that would yield for their letter grade, to ensure that we have seat time versus students who can earn an A or a B with 30-some days of absences over the course of the semester. So those are things that need to be addressed. We are hoping, of course, with the 4-day calendar that reduces the number of absences. So we do have quite a bit of work to do, but again, this is what our scores look like right now. But I will say that our staff is doing their due diligence to really study what the root cause is and how we can address some of these issues.
Well, thank you, Superintendent. One of the reasons I asked for this to come on, of course, is so we do have data. We have numbers that we can look at as a board and as a team, leadership team, so we can start. I know this is just a very small picture of what's going on, but if you do look at everything besides your graduation rate, everything's trending in the right direction. Our math, the big measurables, our math and our reading, those are trending in the right direction. So it's showing that we are making progress, and progress matters, and so again, I know this is just a very small sample of the data that we need as a whole team to start really evaluating progress monitoring, how our students are doing, but I think it's important for us to get a base of where we're at now, so that as we move forward, we can really see the growth that's going to happen in this district over the next couple of years. So thank you for giving us this information. Is there any other questions on this report? Nope. If not, go ahead, Ms. Sandoval.
The other one that I want to address on mine specifically is the capital project that is up and coming. We have the Memorial Middle School Sierra Vista, as we know. This has been on the docket. I was at PED a couple of weeks ago. We did get formal approval for phase 1. So our district share is going to be $2.3 million for the planning and design. The state will put in I believe it's $2.5 million to complete that process. I did speak with PSFA yesterday. We are set to get the MOU next week. And once that is signed, we will be able to move forward with the RFP process to obtain an architect for that. I also met with PSFA, I believe, a couple of weeks ago, Ms. Vanessa and I, with regards to demolition. I do need to go before the Public School Capital Outlay Commission in May. I did provide to you the PowerPoint that will be presented to them tomorrow is when I will submit that to them, but we will formally present in May. And just so you see, the total project cost for the rebuild of Memorial Middle School in Sierra Vista is $61,877,000. The district share is 47% of that. The estimation for demolition is $3.6 million at $30 a square foot. This is an estimation, so in speaking to PSFA yesterday, what they told me to do was just do a calculation of the number of square feet that we need to demolish, and looking at the previous facilities master plan for both the gym and the school itself is 120,000 square feet. What you will see are some pictures. I went over to Memorial with Mr. Archuleta and took some pictures. This is what the facility kind of looks like at this time. There's a lot of ruptured pipes, which has caused flooding in the facility. A lot of vandalism that has occurred in the facilities, And then the final picture that we have for PSFA and for the Public School Capital Outlay Commission is to show that the dollars that were awarded to the district a couple of years ago was to replace a security fence for the facility to reduce the number of break-ins to the facility. We have had some issues with the gates, but they believe those have been resolved. And those will be locked. One of the other pieces that we need to show is what that enrollment trend has been. So you'll see in one of our slides is that the district since 2015 has lost 34% of its enrollment, almost 7.5% since fiscal year 2022. So all the work that the district is doing, the leadership, again with the collaboration of the board, is to try to reverse that, right? Is stop the bleed, if you will, and to bring the numbers back. But almost 700 students have been lost in the last 10 years. So what we are doing is really right-sizing our campus. I know that the former administration had done that and had closed some schools, but what this will do is provide a more cost-effective and efficient way to manage the dollars of the district. What will be built in place of that 120,000 square foot facility will be an 80,360 square foot combined school to right-size to the enrollment that we have. One of the things, if we go back, and again, this is something that they have asked for, is what this has looked like. Last April, I submitted an application to PED to reorganize 2 of our schools for the combo schools. So on June 10th, we got formal approval from the Secretary of Education. 2 days later, we got approval for the award language change. So instead of for a major renovation for Sierra Vista Elementary, we got approval to demolish and rebuild an entire new campus. And phase 1, again, March 11th, we got formal approval for that. So what this looks like for the district in the next couple of years is, once again, the total project cost is close to $62 million. The district share is $29 million. Right now, our local match, we can fully match the phase 1 of the project. With that, we have bond proceeds of $7 million that we have set aside. Mill levy, we have $833,000, and cash on hand is $1.5 million. Once this is completed, the district will have to go back to PSEOC for phase 2, which is the construction. At that point in time, the district will have to request a waiver to meet the remaining cost. The district will not be able to supply the $29 million. So again, what we're looking at with regards to funding is that the district's portion of that $62 million or the $29 million will be approximately $8.5 million towards the total project. This is already set in motion, so 2 years down the road, the board will have to provide a statement of financial position and determine what can be afforded at that point in time. So what we are doing, or what I am doing, of course with the support of Ms. Gonzalez, is taking a look at what our bond capacity is right now, and instead of putting dollars into facilities that, again, we're looking at potentially demolishing, or we're looking at major renovation, is utilizing those dollars to protect property, so we are working already with some companies to provide us bids to secure Mike Mateo Elementary, looking at some work or some additional work to some of our sports fields. So the lighting, we have some of the, I don't know, bulbs, I guess, on the football field that are already burned out. So we're getting some quotes from Mr. Gonzalez and Mr. Archuleta are getting quotes for that. Quotes to remodel parts of margin, the locker rooms and so on. So we have some issues there. So the money that we do have should go to maintain that, but what we are prioritizing is to ensure that instead of maybe putting money into some of the sports areas, is making sure that our heaters and our coolers are operational for the next few years, so kids and staff are comfortable. So that's kind of where the dollars are right now with your bonds and so on, but this will get started soon.
Mr. President. Yes, Mr. Madam Superintendent, did you not tell us a while back that the demolition, that PSFOC or PD was still doing the demolitions without charge to the school district?
They will be, yeah, okay. So that's what the purpose of.
You just said a price quote just now.
It is, but the intention behind this is for the Capital Outlay Commission to give 100%, yeah, to give that 100% reimbursement. So again, that 8.5 million that we have available is to put forth for part of phase 1, and then the remaining part, which is about 6.some million, to go towards phase 2.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Any other questions for Sandoval?
Thank you, I do. Thank you, Ms. Sandoval, for your report and for this thorough presentation. I think it helps me get a better understanding as to timeline for the Memorial Middle School and Ciudad Vista Combo School. I guess it's still to be determined, just from what you presented, when completion of the actual build, phase 2, that whole process. But if you were to just communicate with us today, what is your goal? I know there's a lot that goes into that, but what is your goal for when that facility will be fully open?
So forgive me for the lack of correct language. But through this work, what I have done is in communication with PSFA. What we will be doing is partnering with our architects and a construction crew, so it expedites the planning and the building. So through this RFP process, the intention is to hopefully have the planning and design done within a year's time. With the demolition, through conversations that I've had with them, we're looking at probably starting this fall with the demolition, and with construction to start hopefully next fall or so. So that's the anticipated timeline, but from start to finish, we're looking at probably 2029 would be the time frame.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr.
Madam Superintendent, is Ms. Coley Martinez still helping or working with it?
Yes, so I have been working with Ms. Martinez. She did finish the facilities master plan, so I did email you guys the 2 drafts. She has submitted that to PSFA, so that is under review. She will be in May to give a formal presentation. But what we did do is provide you those drafts, and what I'd like to do for this April meeting is, upon your review, if you have any recommendations or any questions that you may have, I will present those to her prior to the May meeting, so she can make some adjustments or provide some responses. But those drafts have already been provided to PED.
And what about Singleton Schreiber? Have we heard?
Yes, I have
worked with a few of the attorneys. We have responded to some interrogatories. So I'll present, actually I'll probably have Mr. Is it Castellano, Ambrosio Castellano, to come in and talk a little bit about where we're at with that this next board meeting. But I didn't want to stack everything in one, but it is moving along slowly.
I have a question, Superintendent. If, I know you said the report was different, but if you could give us a number for enrollment at this time?
1,020, I believe is what we have, 1,022.
And then I know that you said that we have, enrollment has declined in the last 7 years, but do you know how many students we've lost this year?
I believe we have, from last year to this year, this time, I believe it was close to 60.
And as far as positions, at the high school teaching positions, are we fully staffed as far as like our core subject areas, English, math, science?
No, we are lacking an English teacher. We did make an offer, she has accepted, so we're waiting for her to get started. For next year, we do have a few retirees, so we did a letter of intent, or I don't know what we call it, letter of intention to return, so we do have a few retirees. But with regards to looking at enrollment, we are looking at membership and kind of like our facilities, we may have to right size to our population. But with regards to staffing, I believe it's only our English position that is lacking right now.
How long were we lacking that English teacher?
Since January.
So how are the kids going to make up?
They're working through Edgenuity, and we do have a long-term, we have had kind of a series of long-term subs, but we are using Edgenuity as a curriculum.
So just to be clear, so if we, I think, was it after 30 or 45 days, if we don't have a teacher in that position, are we not supposed to report something regarding that? Because then how are our students earning credit?
We send a letter out to parents upon once we have that 40-day window.
Okay, so as far as credit, how do they make that up, or what, as far as, because right now they have gone almost half the...
So as I mentioned, we're utilizing Edgenuity as its core curriculum, so Edgenuity is allowed to be utilized as initial credit curriculum, so that is what is being utilized.
So they started that in January, or did they just start that?
No, in January.
In
January.
If there's no other questions, we'll move on to our next item of business, which is future planning. Item A, which is the NMSBA 2026 Spring Region Meeting on April 6th at West Las Vegas. I believe you are all planning on attending, is that correct? Perfect. Our next regular board meeting will be April 16th, 2026. Is that date? That's our scheduled date. Does that work for everyone?
Mr. Chair, if I may make a reminder, tomorrow we have our work session for our strategic plan. We forgot to put that in here, but that will begin at 1 o'clock.
And one other thing also is we will complete our board policies, if everyone can finish up with board policies G through L for next month. And if there's nothing else, I'll...
Mr. President?
Yes, Dr. Mazur.
Just a notation that the NMSBA Spring Region meeting is held at West Las Vegas. Usually it's in the cafeteria.
Do you know what time?
Usually it's at 5:30.
Okay, I'm sure something happened. We'll double check. Okay. No other questions? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Romero. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Brea. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned. It is now 7:03. Thank you. Anyone else?